I feel the Spirit moving in me. I feel the Spirit moving in me.
What if you could train your brain to see problems as opportunities? We know that dwelling on problems, dwelling on the difficulties in life, hampers our productivity, right? It weighs us down emotionally, and when we get weighed down emotionally, it's difficult for us to connect to the truth of who we are. True? Yes. So whenever there's a problem, we can know that there is something within us, within you, that can discover the truth that's in that, and indeed turn what appears to be a lemon into lemonades. And that's what we're talking about today. A man was being chased by a tiger. And the tiger was fast, and the man wasn't quite so fast. And you might know that tigers eat people, right? So this guy was running quick to get away from this tiger. And he's running, and he sees a well, right? And he thinks, oh, I can jump in that well and avoid getting eaten by the tiger. So he jumps in the well, and as soon as he's going down the well, I can imagine it's in slow motion, right? He looks down at the bottom, and there is a huge black snake at the bottom of the well. So he sticks out his hand, he grabs some roots to keep him from going down any further, and he's hanging by these roots, right? And the snake is reaching up, trying to nip at him, bite him, and he's going, woo, 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 right? And then he looks up, and he sees the tiger looking down in the well, reaching down with his claw, trying to grab the man. But fortunately, he was down far enough he couldn't get grabbed by the tiger. And then he looks over, and he looks at the root that he's holding on to, and there are two rats, a black one and a white one, chewing on the root. Right? And now, mind you, the tiger is leaning down into the well, and his rear end is bumping against a tree, and the tree is moving back and forth, and up in the tree is a beehive, right? And so then from the beehive drips honey. And the honey drips down into the well. And the man sees the honey, and he sticks out his tongue. I won't show you that part. And he grabs some of the honey, and he goes, isn't that good? How delicious. Often in our lives, we're caught between a tiger and a snake, right? And we have to decide which way are we going to go. It could be between death and something else. It could be two decisions that we have to make that both seem challenging at the time. We can be caught between fear and struggle, between night and day, between disaster and hurt. And even in the most dire circumstances, if we look, we can find a drop of honey. We can turn those lemons into lemonade. You know, many of us grow up defining things as either favorable or not favorable, right? When everything meets our expectations, we're like, oh, life is great. I'm happy. But when we don't get what we desire, we can often say that, oh, this is an unfortunate circumstance. This is a problem. Oh, woe is me. How life is terrible. Why is this happening to me again? But if we all know of people who had to struggle in their lives to get to where they are, to embrace great things, and to be empowered by changing the way we think about our circumstances. You know, we can look back at Abraham Lincoln, who was born in a poor family in a log cabin, and look what he created in his life. author Paulo Coelho wrote the book The Alchemist. Anybody read The Alchemist? Maybe back in the day. What an amazing book, yeah? In that book, he wrote, when we least expect it, life sets us in a challenge to test our courage and our willingness to change. At such a moment, there is no point in pretending that nothing is happening or saying that we're not yet ready. Right? Oh, no thanks. I'm not yet ready for the change, right? Because the challenge will not wait. Life does not look back. So we get to decide in that moment that we're going to make a change, and we're going to change our attitude, change the way we're thinking, and embrace what's happening in the moment. So I ask you, what lemons do you have in your life? Lemons tend to come in 3 different ways, either in relationship, or in our finances, or our health. Ever noticed? Anybody got any challenges in any of those areas? Right? I imagine that all of us have at least challenges, opportunities in one of those areas in our life that we get to work on. So how do we do that? Are you willing to look for the lemonade in the lemons that life appears to have dealt you? Emily and I, as you know, went to Tucson for a vacation. We were there for 2 weeks, and we did a bunch of hiking and climbing, and here we are. I would like to dream. Right? Doesn't that look just like us up there? Well, actually, it's not. I hate to disappoint you. This is really how we looked. And we spent 2 weeks in Tucson, and the most amazing part of our vacation was the hiking that we did. The desert is just so beautiful. Anybody love the desert, right? You think of it as being stark and dismal, but look at the beauty. Look at the mountains. Look at I've never seen so many cactus in my life. I wanted to give personality to all of them. And that's a whole nother talk, because they have all these great shapes and all these, you can almost say they're phallic symbols. But as a minister, I can't look at them that way. But it was like I had a name for every cactus. Anyway, that's another story, another talk. But we had a great time. And another one of the things that was so great about our trip was going to the gem and mineral show. You know, it's an annual event in Tucson, and I've heard that it's one of the largest gem shows in the country, right? It was so great. We went twice. We spent 3 or 4 hours there one day, and then went back the next day and thought, oh, we're just going to go through here and spend an hour. Nah, didn't happen that way. We closed it down. There was so much amazing jewelry, and I've loved rocks since I was a kid, and there were so many beautiful rocks. One of the vendors had an incredible medallion on that looked like an eye and had like some kind of blue gem in the center of it. And I was like, I want that, right? I don't wear jewelry, but I would wear that. So I asked him, well, how much is that? And he said, I could let you have it for $40,000. And I'm like, gosh, I don't think I brought that much with me today. And then he said, you know what, I'll make you one. Maybe not quite with the precious jewels as this one has, or the precious metal. And I could make it for you for $9,000. So we're passing around a collection today. And if I can get to that $9,000 amount, that would make me so happy. So the gym show was great. And at the gym show, we met this guy. Now, this is Lucas. Lucas, years ago, was a a professional speed racer with a promising career. He was a national champion and a 12-time state champion, living life to the fullest. And Lucas was the owner of and the creator of this amazing necklace that Emily bought at the gym fair, and it's an opal, and there's another stone at the bottom. I'm not sure what it is, but it's amazingly beautiful work that he did. So incredible. And you know what is so spectacular about this and about Lucas was that he used to compete, right? He had a career, it looked like, as a speed racer. And then he had an unfortunate accident and hurt his back, right? And could not race anymore. And he said that as a result, when he was in recovery, a friend of his came to his house and taught him how to make jewelry. And now, he's making phenomenal jewelry, expensive jewelry, and really beautiful jewelry. And to see the joy on this guy, look at this guy, isn't he great? Can't you, wouldn't you love to have this guy as your grandson, right? He's just such a sweet human being. And here's another picture of him at another fair. Just the nicest guy. And we really felt this connection. But he was able to turn lemons into lemonade, right? If he had stayed in speed racing, the length of time that he could have had a career at that was probably pretty limited, right? You usually have to be young when you have a career like that. But he was able to turn his career around and create amazing gems and jewelry, and able to turn lemons into lemonade. So how can we do that? Well, I have a recipe for lemonade. Right? Yoo-hoo! So you're going to leave here today. I thought about it later and wish we had lemonade for everybody, but we don't. You get to go home and make your own. But so I have a 4-ingredient recipe for making lemonade. And the first one is to challenge life before it challenges you. To make a determination that I'm not going to see problems as a problem. I'm going to see a problem as an opportunity to discover what's within me that wants to be powerful in every moment. And to take those moments when we might be feeling sad and down and angry or frustrated and look for what is it that I can do to turn my apparent lemons into lemonade. Martin Luther King said, "The ultimate measure of a person is not where he or she stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he or she stands at times of challenge and controversy." To really look within and find that place within ourselves, that deepness, that energy, that connection to all life, to our creativity, so that we can turn things around and stand strong in moments of challenge. A friend of ours, let me say it this way. Anybody ever have any challenges with finances? No. Oh, the opportunities. They already know the talk, So a friend of ours invested most of her money in a Ponzi scheme. And she lost it all, everything she invested in this Ponzi scheme, hoping for financial prosperity, right? She listened to one of these clowns, for lack of a better word, and followed his advice and lost everything she invested. And she said she felt like a frantic mess. She was a self-proclaimed mess. trying to figure out how do I deal with my life. This was the money that she had hoped to use for her retirement. And it's gone in the blink of an eye. And she said, what saved me was that I started listening to Eckhart Tolle every day, all the time. And she said, what I discovered was that I could be present in the moment. That I could turn my attitude around about the way that I saw my life and my circumstances and just be present in the moment. And her friend said there was a dramatic shift in her because she just was focused. She settled into being the strong person that she was and lived in the moment. She was able to turn lemons into lemonade. I see my challenges as opportunities for spiritual growth. Say that with me. I see my challenges as opportunities for spiritual growth. The second ingredient in making lemonade is to let go and let God. Why is that so difficult? It's difficult for us to let go, isn't it? Because we want stuff to be, our lives to be the way we want them, right? Don't we? But it's if we can just learn to let go. And it's kind of interesting because in the process of learning to let go, we actually get a new kind of power. We get a new kind of control over our lives because we're letting go and letting God. We're letting this source within us be the guiding energy that directs our lives. And sometimes that just means letting it all go. Sandy Foreman and I go way back. We met each other, sorry, Louise. We met each other in the early 1990s. We both attended Unity Center in Walnut Creek, California. And when I walked in the door at Unity Center in Walnut Creek, I was at that time a school teacher, and I was excited, and I found these principles. You might remember what you felt like when you first discovered this truth that we teach, right? And I was really high on it, and Sandy said, I got a great thing that you can do. You want to give something to our community? Why don't you be a youth education teacher? Right? So I'm like, whoa. And she stuck me in the third grade with those kids. And it was kind of like, oh no, this is not my bag. Right? And then she said, okay, well, we have an opening with the YOU, which is the Youth of Unity, which is high school age kids. And I found my connection. I worked as a YOU sponsor for 6 years and just loved it. Sandy and I also took many classes together. I've got a picture somewhere of us at Unity of Palo Alto where we were taking classes together. We were on the board at Unity in Walnut Creek together and did just a whole bunch of things together. And then you might remember Sandy moved here and was on the board here and a mover and a shaker in this community. And I was in St. Louis, right? And Sandy called me one day and said, hey, Rev. She called me Rev. She said, we're looking for a minister out here in Maui, and I thought maybe you might be interested. Maui? St. Louis? Maui. So I did all the things that I needed to do, and I came here and I interviewed, and y'all offered me a job when I was here. And I'm so grateful for that. And then when I got here, Sandy was on the board and soon became my office manager, and we worked together in the office here for quite a while, having just an amazing time. Sandy was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2005, and uterine cancer in 2012. And she was in remission for a number of years. She was in remission a lot of the time that she was here. And the cancer returned to her body, and she left her body in this last Wednesday on February 22nd. And she wrote a book titled Cancer Again. It's a beautifully inspiring, gentle book that has inspired many people that have had cancer. And a portion of the profits of this book went to the Cancer Foundation. So she was definitely giving back. Sandy's life, I believe, is a testament to overcoming the lemons in one's life. And to her journey is about letting go and letting God. She said that many times, that she didn't understand why she had cancer. But it really gave her the opportunity to up-level her spiritual journey. She was always positive about it. I saw her deepen her connection with me, with many people in her life. She became more creative. She became more loving because she turned her lemons into lemonade. She greatly outlived the amount of time that she was told when she was diagnosed that she would live. And I believe that is because of her amazing attitude. She definitely saw her challenges as opportunities for spiritual growth. The third thing we can do, the third ingredient in making lemonade, is to actively look for opportunities to make lemonade, right? And to let that be the opportunity when a challenge, when a problem comes to surface, and to say, how can I turn this around? How can I change my thinking so that I don't see this as a problem, but I see it as an opportunity? Because before we can see an opportunity, we have to be looking for an opportunity. Because we know so much about what we discover in our lives is about what we expect to see, what we're looking for. What we focus on manifests in our lives. If we're looking for an opportunity, we will find that opportunity. Anybody think that the pandemic was a little challenging? Did any of you change your lives or the way you were doing things because of the pandemic? You know, Emily and I were a part of a gym, and we used to go to the gym every week to work out and take yoga classes, and she would take these crazy activity classes that just blow my mind when I watched the activity that these mostly women did in this class. But when the pandemic hit, we stopped doing things socially inside. We suspended our gym membership, and for exercise, we began walking up and down the Kumalani Hill in Maui Meadows, right? It's quite a steep hill. And so we've been doing this since the pandemic began, so it's been a few years, up and down this hill, mostly every day. And it's become such a joy. You know, we don't even think about it anymore. We just get up, put the shoes on, and walk out the door, right? And the lemonade that we have discovered is the people that we have met. We know almost all of our neighbors, right? People tell us, oh, I saw you guys walking up and down the hill, or, you know, it was great to see you the other day. We've made friends with people, gone to their houses, but people that we met walking up and down the Kumalani Hill. Wow. But you know what? That's not the best part. We love our two-legged friends, but it's our four-legged friends, right? We often say, you know, wonder what doggies we're going to see today, right? It's been so great because we don't have to have pets. We don't have to have a dog that we have to feed and chase around and clean up after, because every dog on Kumalani Hill is ours. And we stop and we play with them every time, and we pet them and we talk to them. And so that has been the lemonade that we have transformed our lemons into, because we looked for the opportunity. I see my challenges as opportunities for spiritual growth. How about you? Can you say it without looking? All right, let's hear you. I see my challenges as opportunities for spiritual growth. All right, I've got one more element to the recipe, and that is to add sweetener to your life. And gratitude is the sweetener that transforms our lives. Scientists have said that when we express gratitude, then we experience more success. People who are gracious and express gratitude and look for gratitude have a propensity to be more successful and more happy. So gratitude is the sweetener that we can add to our lives. You know, we have a ritual that we do every night. We call it doing our greats. And before we get ready for bed, we sit and name the things that we're grateful for. It's a powerful exercise. It just takes a moment. And what an opportunity to go to bed with the last communication you can have by being grateful. And I found this quote, and it's kind of an affirmation, and say it with me as it is true for you. Let's say it together. Can you read it? Let's say it together. Turning my lemons into lemonade empowers me to face every challenge in my life wisely and with confidence. I go forth with renewed courage, with an uplifted spirit, and with a positive, confident, joyous attitude. That's the way I want to live. How about you? And I want to end my talk today with this poem titled The Optimist by Clarence Edwin Flynn. He says, life handed him a lemon, as life sometimes will do. His friends looked on in pity, assuming he was through. They came upon him later, reclining in the shade, in calm contentment, drinking a glass of lemonade. I see my challenges as opportunities for spiritual growth. And I invite you to close your eyes. Breathing in. Connecting with that higher self within yourself. Connecting with that higher awareness. And imagine that you can drop your attention from your mind into your heart. Just to feel that connection. And breathe into this truth. Breathing into your essence, into that higher power that lives within you. Breathing in. Breathing out. And you might imagine some challenge in your life. Something financial, a relationship that isn't quite where you'd like it to be. Your health maybe isn't quite you'd like it to be. As you breathe in to this essence of truth within you, can you hold this challenge with your awareness, with your love? and kind of see it with love. See it as a part of you that you are experiencing. And you might even be aware of how you think about this challenge. And ask yourself, can I change my attitude? Can I change my perception? Can I love however this is part of my life? And breathe into that. And can I see it differently? Can I look for the lemonade? Can I look for ways that I can think different, be different, live different, and embrace this challenge? Breathing in and breathing out. And let's take just a moment to rest. Breathing in and breathing out. Embracing new opportunities, new ways of seeing, new ways of being, new ways of loving. And as you continue to breathe, I invite you to begin to bring your awareness back to this moment, to embrace all that is here for you right now. And I invite you to open your eyes when you're ready. All right, well, this time I invite you to prepare your love offerings. And as you prepare them, to think about what are the lemons in your life that you're willing to let go of today, this week? And what are the lemons that you're willing to apply our recipe to create lemonade in your life? You have that potential. It is the essence of who you are. It's the essence of what we teach here at Unity on Maui. It's really all about changing our thinking, changing our lives, because we know what we think about manifests in our lives. So being the powerful person that you are, what difference will you make in your life this week? So contemplate that as we hold the gifts that we're about ready to give, knowing that these gifts are part of the energy that moves through this ministry. And this is a way that you can demonstrate by sharing your gifts with us, how you can contribute to changing your life, changing this congregation's life, changing the world's life. I do believe that we have a message for the world that is transforming people's lives. Don't you know that's true? And so thank you for being a part of lifting us up where the egos, the eagles, not the ego.
Where the egos are left at the door.
Where the eagles fly. So, and if you're out watching us on Facebook, thank you for your gifts as well. You can go to our website, www.unityonmaui.org, and donate there in a safe and loving way. So as we hold our gifts, let's affirm and pray together our affirmation of prosperity. Let's say it together. Through a grateful, giving heart, my mind and life overflow with the abundance of God's all-providing, infinite supply. And so it is. Namaste. In loving spirit, we give thanks for these gifts that have come to us in love. We hold them, we bless them, we give thanks for them, knowing that they're moving through this ministry across this island and out into the world. And we behold a world filled with peace, with love, and with light. And so it is. Amen. Thank you. All right, so just a couple announcements today, maybe more than a couple. You just never know. The flowers up here today were donated by Virgin Alcantorna. Thank you very much for bringing them. And if you enjoy having something fresh on the altar, besides Louise and I, then you can donate some flowers on Sunday morning also. And there's a sign-up sheet back by the prayer box, I believe. And if you sign up, put your name down on a particular date and how you'd like your flowers to be talked about or donated, you can write that down as well. It's a fun way to be a part of our service on Sunday morning.
Like if you want to dedicate it to someone you love.
Yeah, and because it's their birthday, or just because you love them, or whatever it might be, or for your own anniversary, or birthday, or whatever it could be. And special love for Sandy today.
Yes.
God bless you, and Sandy. And I'd like to invite Amora up as an announcement. I didn't have a chance to make a copy of your flyer, but if you have a brief moment here to talk about your upcoming event.
Come on with me.
Come on.
It's our
We
baby.
can talk about it together. Come up this way. Grab the mic. This is your 15 minutes of fame. Miss you too. Thank you.
Thank you. I ran out of flyers, so I'm so happy to have a chance to make the announcement that
I think I have
next
a few.
Saturday night at the Pro Arts Theater, just down the road, Louise and I are part of the Gutsy Women Showcase. And it's going to be featuring gutsy women and the men who love them. They won't be on the stage, just the women.
Okay.
Lots of music, lots of song, poetry. Some of the proceeds will benefit women helping women. And we're going to have Louise and Joy, her beautiful daughter, singing, and Nara Boone, who was the lead singer in Ula Lena for 10 years,
Wow.
is going to be our featured performer. And I'm going to do a little monologue.
Yeah, and Tanima Colibri, who
Yeah.
you may be seen at Empanada Lady, her family owns that. She's going to be one of our singers too.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
going to be super
It's
fun.
going to be really fun. 7:30 Pro Arts next Saturday night. I hope you can all come.
Fabulous. Thank you. And we get tickets
It
out.
was inspired by Amora's Gutsy Women radio show, if you've ever heard that on Kaku Radio.
Yeah, tickets are online at Pro Arts.
Excellent. Thank
Or
you.
you can call Pro Arts too. Yep.
Yeah. Excellent. Wonderful.
Because not everybody's plugged in, and the internet doesn't always work.
It doesn't?
No!
For Pete's
last
sake,
night I was
thought it
trying to get
did.
a hold of Jason, and he came anyway, so this is great.
Somebody go to the refrigerator and grab, there's a lei that I've been keeping cold because we want it to be as cold as possible when we put it around Virgie's neck. And I'd like to invite Virgie to come on up.
Wowee.
Virgie Cantorna has, for many, many years, been a powerful part of Unity on Maui. And you can just roll on over here. You're a high roller and a low roller. However, we won't talk about the low rolling part. We're only going to talk about the high rolling part. Recently, Virgie helped us with music on Sunday morning. You might remember, played her ukulele a few times, and gosh, it's just been, yeah.
Oh.
Now you got to speak too.
Oh, goodness. Churches have lemons too, and I love to help Unity make lemonade. So I volunteered to do music for a while, and I have given talks when needed. I love to do the Ikebana arrangements. I don't know, just call on me anytime, Rev.
Oh, isn't that great?
Oh, yeah, I was president on the board when we purchased this property, and the way it manifested has a lot to do with the board, and thank you for recognizing that.
Thank you for all that you do. You're always such a blessing and have such a spirit of love and acceptance. Thank you. And so it's my pleasure to offer you this really cold lei. So sometimes you really appreciate it here, when it's really hot. But thank you, Virgie.
Thank you. I love you.
I love you, dear. Let's give Virgie a big hand. And, our compassion team keeps going and growing, and we offer compassion to people in our community, and it's an excellent thing that Joy and Kailani are a part of. If you're interested in being a part of it, they'll raise their hands so you can see where they are. There's always openings for more hands to help with compassion in our community. And if you're ever needing help, you can call upon our compassion team to help you as well. It's our way of spreading love and being love in our community. And so thank you. Also, as you know, we have Mike Fleenor does something every month, some kind of activities to keep us involved socially. And next Saturday, Carrie Sawyer is doing a sound bath meditation right here from 4 to 5:30, and it's free or as a love offering, so come and join that. I know it'll be a real transforming experience for you. And speaking of transforming experiences, my talk next week is titled, When You Know How to Suffer, You Will Not Suffer. That actually is a quote from Jesus from the book of Thomas. The book of Thomas was different than many of the books of the Bible in that it was said to be a conglomeration of sayings that Jesus said. Rather than stories like a lot of the other books, it's sayings that he said. And this is one of the powerful sayings. So we're going to look at that next week. Although it may sound surprising, I do not recommend that anybody get rid of suffering. Suffering is not the problem. Rather, ignoring suffering is more painful and more damaging than the suffering itself. And we'll discover that healing comes from exploring the suffering rather than trying to get rid of it. So in this talk next week, when you know how to suffer, you will not suffer, we'll explore ways that we can inquire into the presence of suffering. Because when we meet suffering head on, we will make the exquisite discovery that suffering holds the very jewel that we sought in an attempt to escape it. So join us next week at 10 o'clock.
And resistance is futile.
Yes. If I could have just said that, that would have summed it all up. And if you enjoyed our talk today, it's available in the back on a sheet that looks like this. You can take it with you. And when all your friends and relatives ask you what you discovered in church on Sunday, you can say, well, as a matter of fact, I can tell you all about it. It's a lemonade recipe. Yeah, put this in
Can
your
we
recipe
use some of that
book, right?
honey?
What'd you say, Louise?
Can we use some of that honey, you know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll get together some of that honey. All right.
Never did tell us what happened to that guy in the well. We want to have
Yeah, that's a talk for another Sunday. Well, actually, we're going to deal with that one next Sunday. It's about how to get through the suffering, right?
The tiger and the snake both loved the honey.
Yes. And the residue that was left. So, Louise, thank you for being here for these 2 weeks. We love you. It's been just great to share this time with you. You are such a blessing. Thank you. I don't know.
Yes.
I think you're doing it anyway.
I wanted to announce, just in case anybody hasn't heard via Facebook, that Denny Grace also passed away this week, earlier on Sunday, Monday. So she used to be a prayer chaplain here at Unity, and she was also the lay maker for the hula hui.
Right.
Very special place in
Beautiful
our hearts.
couple, Jack, Grace, and Denny.
Yeah, and Jack he's looking to possibly come back here and spread her ashes. So
Nice.
thank you. Allah.
Thank you, Marlene. All right, so why don't we all stand? And if a few people want to come up here and populate the front of the sanctuary with your beautiful beingness, we can do that too. And we'll take a breath and we'll say the prayer of protection, and then we'll sing together the peace song. So let's say the prayer of protection first. Together, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. God bless you, friends. Thank you for being here. God bless you watching us on Facebook.
Where I live, they're all raised.